Part of last week's computer security conference was about healthcare security issues. This morning's guest is going to be talking about scrubbing, but it's not in the hospital. You'll learn more about it coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Holiday Inn West on the Waterway in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on last week's computer security conference, which was held here at the hotel, and we're visiting with the moderator of one of the panels, the healthcare panel, Zeke Creech, an attorney with Parker Poe, Adams, and Bernstein in Raleigh. Good morning, Zeke.
Good morning, Greg. I appreciate you
so much for
having me
coming
in here today and everything.
Appreciate you getting back down.
Absolutely.
Having been down here last Thursday and Friday, that's a little bit of a trip for folks in the Triangle.
Not too far. I would always come to see you, Greg.
Listen to that, Zeke. Wow, that is fantastic. Thank you.
It's a blessing to be here, without a doubt.
How was the conference last week? It was pretty well attended?
Absolutely. And this is the first year of the conference, and I think I'm already told that you have folks who are interested in coming next year.
Oh, yeah, a lot of folks.
Great.
I understood from Dr. Stamey, who was with us yesterday morning, saying that a lot of folks have signed up already for next April of 2008, to get back here for Computer Security Conference 2008.
Well, I'll be here then, too.
Listen up. Golly, even
right.
if you're in the crowd or moderating another one, or you may even be a panelist.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I may need to bone up on a couple things. We had some great panelists. I helped moderate the healthcare security panel. We had a lot of the chief information officers from the local hospitals.
Some area community hospitals. I
Absolutely.
saw that in Columbus County, the one up there.
That's right, in Loris.
Loris and Conway.
That's right. So
you really had some folks who were knowledgeable in their industry.
Yeah, very knowledgeable, and we had a good turnout, a lot of good questions, and I hope I doing a couple good ones as well.
Listen up, that's great. That's great. I'm sure it was well. Of course, the great thing was it was well attended conference, and right here in sunny Myrtle Beach, you know, the weather depends day in and day out. But recently, it's been so beautiful. And last Thursday and Friday, y'all were blessed with some tremendous weather.
Definitely, and it's a great networking opportunity, of course, also, and and it's tough. You know, it's tough work, but someone has to come to the beach. You know, so,
listen to that. And Parker, speaking of that, Parker Poe, Adams, and Bernstein has recently made a big presence here in Myrtle Beach.
That's right. That's right. As a matter of fact, I've been working out of the office there today, and of course some last week.
Right.
Mike Eisenrock helped open up this office for Parker Poe here in Myrtle Beach, and then Shep Guyton has
who's of counsel.
That's right, become affiliated with the firm.
He's a superstar.
Right, and then Matt Norton, who certainly is one of the top real estate attorneys in eastern South Carolina, without a doubt, and probably in the southeast.
Right.
And has a great practice in Charleston and here.
And here in Myrtle Beach, yes.
That's right.
I know y'all have done a lot of work with some big companies, and the big grand opening at the Pine Lakes Country Club, when you all had the big celebration, you had a tremendous cadre of folks, business people from all over the community. Lots of folks driving in from, we talked about one of your panelists last week from Columbus County. You had people in from Columbus County that drove down to Myrtle Beach to welcome Parker Poe.
That's right, from Waccamaw Bank.
Waccamaw Bank,
that's
exactly.
right, through Catherine Airwood, her brother's bank, and it's certainly great for Parker Poe to be in Myrtle Beach. So many great things going on here. And we're also in Columbia, we're in Spartanburg, we're in Raleigh, and in Charlotte.
And in Charlotte.
So that's right.
You probably have
and
more
in Charleston
all over.
Stated,
that's right,
so.
Of course, yeah. So you're well represented in both the Tar Heel and the Palmetto State. But of course, the firm originated early on. Those two early names started out of the Charlotte area.
That's right. Parker Poe, the crux of Parker Poe certainly started in Charlotte, with a large transactional practice up there, doing a lot of the business work for some of the large financial institutions and the like. And then that firm merged with Senator Sanford's former firm and the firm of Al Adams, Representative Al Adams, who was in the State House for a long time. He served with my father there, or vice versa, I should say, and Bill McCullough. And so they merged the Raleigh and Charlotte, those firms merged, but it kept the Parker Poe name, and of course now it's in South Carolina and growing a great deal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it'd be tough to be a firm based in Charlotte at any time and never expanded into South Carolina. So it was a perfect move for them, and it sounds like it's been great for the firm.
Well, the firm has definitely grown a great deal in South Carolina, which
Right.
is evidence of moving here to Myrtle Beach, and so certainly Myrtle Beach is
Expect
growing.
only good things to
That's right.
happen. That's right. You know, right behind us here, a $500 million park is opening next year. The Hard Rock Park, the first of its kind in the world. Of course, we've got the Market Common out on the former Air Force Base and all the RWO acquisitions and the big group Withers Preserve, another $500 million project opening up, as well as so many of the amazing. And of course, you're involved in real estate transactions a good bit, Zeke.
That's right. Involved in real estate, do some corporate work. I had done a real estate MBA at Carolina when I did at UNC Chapel Hill.
Oh, yeah,
Excuse me, I should say. When I did
down
my
here,
law
you know,
degree.
they're thinking of USC.
That's right.
That's right.
And got into the real estate field primarily. So I do transactional work on the real estate side. Do some corporate work as well.
Are you originally from the Carolinas, Zeke?
Originally from Raleigh, Greg. And
is that right? Raleigh, North Carolina.
That's right. That's right. And I know we're talking professionally today.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Of course, we go way
Oh,
back,
yeah,
Greg.
the Creech and Everett family's a long time. Your father had hired my dad years ago.
Right, and Greg's been, I hope I can tell your viewers,
Oh,
Greg has
please.
undoubtedly been one of my best friends throughout my entire life, and feel very blessed to have been associated with Greg, and I feel blessed to be here today. Greg even read in our wedding.
That's exactly
I have a wonderful
right.
wife, Bess,
You do.
and there's so many things to be thankful for, and I'm thankful for our relationship.
Well, we've been together a long time. Of course, the exciting thing is they're your parents and my folks very similar in that both of our fathers married much younger brides. Both of our parents, sets of parents, each have 3 sons, and of course you
We're
and
2
I
days
share
apart,
something.
right?
You and I are 2 days apart. We're both middle sons as well, so we've got a lot in common there. And of course, your father had been Senator Sam Ervin's chief counsel or general counsel, chief of staff.
That's right, for the Senate Subcommittee on Constitutional Rights.
Okay, on
That's
constitutional rights, and hired dad, my father, as an advisor to that subcommittee there, but your dad served a tremendous time there in Washington as well as worldwide.
That's right,
Your
in the
dad's
Foreign
done
Service.
a lot of traveling.
In Iraq and in London. But I know we're very proud, certainly, of our parents, our fathers, our mothers, and of course your grandmother and grandfather.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so, very.
That's right. It used to be Everett, Creech, and Craven
That's
at one
right,
time.
that's right.
Everett, Creech, and Craven, which was I guess at that time, my grandmother, grandfather, or at least the use of his name, as well as your father and Jim Craven.
That's right.
Another very interesting attorney from the Triangle. It's amazing. Those things go back, and of course, the law is so critical. As my grandmother used to talk about it, Zeke, she called the legal profession a good gentleman's education when she got her law degree in 1920. As the only woman, as you know, and of course we all know those stories, the only woman in her class, the only woman taking the bar exam that year in North Carolina, and the #1 score in the state. She really looked at it as a good basic education, kind of like taking Latin. You know, just something that everyone needed. Of course, not everyone could be attorneys, and you've been blessed. And it is amazing when you think about what all you're able to do with that education. But not only did you get a law degree, you also got a master's in economics from the London School of Economics, as well as a master's of business administration from UNC Chapel Hill. What was that like, Zeke, getting your JD and your MBA?
Well, it was certainly tough.
At Chapel Hill, very tough.
One reason I took on both is because I thought it would be a great skill set for one's entire life, and on the business side, I had worked some in banking in southeastern North Carolina, including in Wilmington, and I wanted to kind of continue that finance interest, but also gain some of the skills that I did not have, and so I could marry that with the legal work that I do for businesses and for small and large.
Do you think you got that in business school? Did it help open the doors, the entrepreneurial bent there? Was that exciting, and did you get it?
Well, of course, you're an entrepreneur, Greg.
No. I'm just, but did business school help?
It exposes you to, of course, what some of the things, you're on the cutting edge of certain discussions, like computer security, like we were able to discuss last week, and also helps you kind of internalize and think about your management skills. It's a great network, and of course it gives you a lot of the key accounting, finance, marketing type skills that you're not able to hone so well just out on your own.
Sure, very good point. And of course, a lot of folks, they would spend 3 years getting their law degree, 2 years getting their MBA. By doing them together, you were able to accomplish both in 4 years.
That's right. That's
which
right.
is tremendous.
Well, like I said, I feel very blessed about that, and have plenty of education. Of course, Greg and I were in school at Wake Forest together.
That's right, absolutely.
And,
our time at Wake Forest, you were the school president, the Wake Forest student body president, which is a pretty big deal, and that's opened some great doors. You know, just the other day I was reading about a friend of yours, or someone I didn't know well, but his father has announced that he's running for, is it governor of North Carolina?
That's right. That's right.
Jewel Smith there?
That's right. That's right.
Father?
Fred Smith.
Fred Smith.
That's right. Senator Fred Smith.
Very exciting.
That's
Senator
right.
Fred Smith has just announced. I read a piece about him in the Triangle Business Journal recently. Very exciting.
A lot of politics. A lot of politics going on, surely here in South Carolina, and definitely in North Carolina.
A lot here along the Grand Strand and in the PD, and our viewers in southeastern North Carolina, of course, which you and your family have deep ties to southeastern North Carolina through your father there in Johnston County. But of course, our real focus is on computer security. The panel last week, when you think about healthcare and computer security, there's a lot that really happens in that field. And of course, HIPAA, a big deal. A lot of things must overlap with HIPAA, and I'm sure these professionals, medical professionals, what are some of the things, as you were studying to prepare to be the moderator for that panel, that you came across, Zeke?
Well, several different things. First of all, because I don't work in the healthcare field, I wanted to read up a little bit, and I took a look at some of the questions that they were going to be posing.
Right.
But I think some of these issues are issues that folks face in their daily lives, and people want to know, what's going to happen if their medical information is put online. Those types of issues. So those are some of the questions that we talked about, and some of the questions that I thought other people would want to know as they're kind of faced with those on the street. And of course, the chief information officers of the hospitals,
those 3 big hospitals,
are faced with those all the time. One other thing I came across as I was thinking about things had to do actually more with the legal profession and so-called scrubbing documents that are being sent out by attorneys that have some of the prior versions of documents in them. I don't know if I can explain it the exact way, but you have a document, and then you have a new draft, and the question is, how do you clean that document before sending it to an opposing side or someone else of that data, so that they're not able to use it? And so there have been interesting issues that affect us, of course, in our personal lives regarding healthcare security, and certainly the work that the folks do in the hospitals, and we talked about that. And also from my standpoint, I was interested to come across some of these issues.
Oh yeah, you talked about one as you were preparing to moderate that panel, Zeke. I know you mentioned you'd come across some metadata issues that attorneys face or that their clients face, and people need to think about what is included on the back end, on the source code when you're sending stuff out. Oftentimes people put in creative terms to try to get more traffic, higher search engine rankings, and those are real issues. Can you utilize those? People can't see them, but they're on your website. Can you actually use them to generate higher results?
Well, I don't know if I can fully answer your question.
No, I understand, sure.
But one thing I would say, and you can re-ask me the question, I think, but with respect to that type of data, what the article I read said, and of course I encourage folks to read
go
the
out
article.
And search on their own.
That's right. Is that in terms of if you send a document to someone else, in this case an opposing counsel, that attorney must, if it's wrongly sent to you, you must notify the person to whom
you're sending it out.
Who sent it out, but at the same time, that does not mean that the individual who received it cannot look at it.
Is that right?
That's right.